Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
What's that? What's that music? Yeah. Here we go. I just got past the commercial. I just got in. Yeah, I'm glad. Everybody seems like everybody seemed to enjoy the patch notes. Mostly,
Whoa,
I
whoa,
saw
whoa,
a
whoa.
few people, uh, you know, cringing into their death. But besides that, looked like it was overall pretty positive. It wasn't a feigned death either. It wasn't fake. Yeah. Yeah, Sparrow knows what's up. Mhm. Right. Right. That's not what I'm going for, right? Right. Sometimes sometimes you have to be a little off, you know? Like some Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. I remember that. Yeah. And look what happened to him. He smashed all those pumpkins and everything. I'm ready to go.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Plus.
Yeah, been on a few. Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Mm, mm. Man, they can't hear you. They can't hear you,
Whoa, whoa,
Minus.
whoa, whoa.
Yep, apparently not. I don't know.
That's a good start.
Hey.
That's a
Whoa,
He's
good
whoa, whoa,
coming,
start.
whoa.
guys. He's
That's a
coming.
good
He's
start. That's
coming.
a great start. That's a fantastic start. So the Yeti X, by the way, is a phenomenal microphone. But every update, every time something gets unplugged, it resets itself into a new version of itself. So you have to update everything. So
Mm.
sorry, guys. You didn't miss much there. Luckily, Nathan has still heard. But welcome to Pantheon Plus You episode 58. I was saying that Nathan has probably been on more shows than anyone except for Theric and myself. It's always been a great companion on the show. So thank you for that. We have a lot of really, really big news to talk about tonight. So we got the monk reveal, which you guys are going to see the footage looping behind us. It's awesome. So really want to get into that. We're going to break that down heavily. And on top of that, we're also going to make sure to get to the green room. So let me give you a quick heads up of how Pantheon Plus You works. So first of all, you're able to vote in the poll. You'll see the poll at the top of the screen. You can vote on how you felt the show went, 5 being the best for that demo. So you can vote 1 through 5 and put your vote in for how you thought Pantheon dev stream went. So that's number 1. You'll see that up there and you'll see it live as that goes up. So number 2, we're going to talk about that, but we're going to start the show by talking about some really big news for the PantheonPlus team. It's Nathan, I'm going to get emotional. I've kind of already talked about this quite a bit. But before I get into that, what I want to make sure everyone's aware is PantheonPlus has been a show that since day one has been about the community. If you're a part of our Discord, you can jump into the voice channel called Green Room. And that tells us that you want to come on the air live with Nathan and myself and talk about the stream or talk about any of the content that we're talking about. So if you jump in the Green Room, me and Nathan are going to talk about some important stuff with PantheonPlus. We're going to break down our thoughts on the Monk stream, and then we're going to jump right to you. So jump in that Green Room. You can mute your headset and microphone. You can jump in there and hang out, and we'll let you know when we're going to pull you in on the show to talk live. Because remember, again, PantheonPlus has been about community matters since day one. So Nathan, are you ready for the sappy part of this show?
Let's do it, man. I just want to say that before we get to this, that we've in the course of our friendship over the past few years, we've been through some stuff together.
Yeah.
And we pulled each other from the depths before. I just want to say in advance that I've got your back in all things. So
awesome.
All right.
Feel free to jump in, man. So again, guys, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but it is important, and I want to make sure everybody who's supported us knows what's going on. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about PantheonPlus for a moment here. And the first thing I want to talk about is that, again, day one, about 3 years ago, we started PantheonPlus. It was myself, Haya, and Poiru. Haya had to step away, and he was the one who was on camera making videos with me. And Poiru has always been very behind the scenes. The joke, if you're part of our Discord, is that Poiru is not real. You've heard that, Nate, right? Like that he's just a program, or he's me pretending, that I'm a programmer. But Poiru, myself, and Haya, we met in World of Warcraft, and we used to train guildies how to use add-ons. We used to train guildies how to use simulation craft. We would teach them about their classes if they wanted to. We were never forceful about it, but typically most people in MMORPGs want to put out the best effort they can, right, Nate? Like they don't want to be bad, but then sometimes they're afraid to try, right? Because they don't want to let people down. And we would break that barrier down. That's what we did. And that's when we really came up with this thought about like, wow, we spend a lot of time doing this, teaching people. What if we focused on this more than just our guild? And that's really where this idea originally came. And that was in WoW. And then I discovered Pantheon. Long story short, I quit the guild, handed it over, and I said, I'm going all in on this game because I believe in it. And that's 100% true story. So fast forward a bit, we make some content. Haya has to step away, and then it's just me and Poiru. And, one of the biggest things was we built this website, Pantheon.plus. If you haven't been there, please check it out. It's evolved a ton. We wanted to make a community hub where we could push content creators, where we could push article writers, we could push fan art. We could give people eventually a way to make guides, to link to spells, to be this community hub that while it's a site like, I don't want to say like Wowhead or Alakazam, but this site, this social gathering hub. But instead of it being about us telling you what to do, you would have control. It would be about community, because again, community matters was what mattered to me. And it's been 3 years, and Haya stepped away. Poiru is the only one who's with me. Everybody, I'm sure, is aware of Theric, Drac, who've really stepped their game up. Those two guys impressed the hell out of me with what they do. We've done MMORPG classes. If anyone was around long enough to follow us, we used to do a show called Interviews with Minus that was maybe one of the most horrible things ever. And it's where I learned how to stream. And
I loved it, though. I loved it.
It was so cheesy. It was like my attempt at a late night show. It was ridiculous.
The little couches with the
the couches. We had the people. And then you were actually the first commercial we ever made. Remember we did Nathan's Napalm? And you helped with it. So we would make like the commercials. Remember we did Punk and Def's lawn care?
That was my favorite. I still got that one saved. I love that one.
That was a really good one. So there were some fun ones there for sure. But it was all about like community. It was about getting people together. I think that I'm not going to pat myself on the back because it was a team effort, but we were a big part in getting all the community content creators together to work together, to do different things, to say this isn't a competition, but we're here to support each other, because at the end of the day, all of us want Pantheon to be better, right? That was always the goal. And I still believe it to this day. There's been changes. People have stepped out. People have stepped in. Listen, anything you try to do, there's always going to be turmoil. Nathan, me and you have at times even gone head to head, but I don't think ever really negatively.
Yeah.
We
debated topics.
Yeah, we had a funny story for those that don't know. Nathan, remember when we were debating and we were both loud and passionate, and your wife walked in? Tell people about that. That's pretty
cool. So I'm just in here in my office, and to get to the room that I sleep, you walk right past the office. So we're just in here. It's really late. We're not live anymore. We're just like way after show kind of situation, and we're in a heated debate about something. And we're both just like, blah, blah, no, blah, blah, and we're just talking over each other. My wife just walks on her way past. I didn't even know. And then I go to bed a little bit later, and she's like, "Are you and Minus not friends anymore?" I was like, "What? No, we're cool." I was like, "I'll text him in the morning just to make sure. I'm pretty sure we're pretty cool."
I remember Nathan telling me that, and I just laughing so hard because I was just fired up. I don't remember even what we were talking about, but it's probably something about transmog or something.
Yeah, probably.
But so long story short, and we've evolved a lot. Pantheon PlusYou. This is the 58th episode. We started a podcast, and by the way, Theric has really made that. Theric's not here tonight. Don't worry, I didn't kick Theric off of Pantheon PlusYou so that I could have Nathan. He's celebrating Canada Day. He's having some fun. But we've made lore videos. We've highlighted tons of community members. Not only Drac used to do it in articles, but now he's doing it in videos, right? We have a podcast that is crazy, and I want to read you guys some stats. And this isn't me patting myself on the back. I promise to you, I'm getting to my point. So think about this. We're almost 3 years old. So let's say 2.5 to be fair. Okay. We started in October 2018 supporting Pantheon. Somebody linked me my first video today, and that is an awful experience to watch that, Nathan. Absolutely awful. So I want to just talk about something here. We had no idea what we were doing. None. And you'll see that if you look at our old content. No idea how to build a website. Poiru was an amazing programmer, had never done front-end web design. And really, we only made videos, Nathan, at the beginning because we wanted to make the website seem more credible, right? So like we made videos so you could see us and be like, oh, that's those Pantheon Plus guys. And then our goal was to just step away from videos and focus on the website. And you know how life is, it throws a wrench at you. But so here's some things. Since we started, we've generated 450,000 views on our channel, which is 98% Pantheon, right? Even when we're playing other games, Nathan, like we do MMORPGs 101, we talk Pantheon almost the whole time, right? That the goal is in anyone who sees the brand Pantheon Plus, it's the plus is there for a reason. We have gone into other games because we want Lord of the Rings fans to come check out Pantheon. We want, yes, Nathan, we want Guild Wars 2 fans to come check out Pantheon. We want to save them.
Oh, they definitely need to.
So it's funny because I don't think a lot of people understood that when we covered other games, when we made a launch video for Wolfson, when we played these other games, or I played the Medium, we did these things because we wanted other crowds to see Pantheon. Because if you come to the Pantheon Plus YouTube, there's no, if on the YouTube, there's no other videos. Like we don't have the Medium video, the streams that we do on Twitch. None of that's there. We try to bring people to the Pantheon Plus YouTube so they can discover Pantheon. And we do it by going into other games. That was always our strategy. Maybe we didn't explain that well, but that was our goal. So 450,000 views since 2018, 2,670 subscribers on YouTube. That doesn't count our Twitch. That doesn't count our Twitter. Crazy. We've made 342 videos in 2.5 years. 342 videos. And that's obviously a thanks to Theric. That's obviously a thanks to, Drac and myself and everybody who's Nathan, who's helped with that. But 342 videos in 2.5 years. It's been a labor of love. We have 68,000 hours watched of Pantheon content, mostly 68. Because remember, we don't always put the Twitch videos over here. This is just YouTube. So 68,000 hours of content watched. That's over 2,800 days of people watching Pantheon, which is crazy. And half of that is from non-subscribers. So, that's a thing that's important to know. Like some people are like, oh, it's always the same people watching. Half of it's from non-subscribers. It's crazy. Yeah. 57 episodes, like I said, of PantheonPlus. This is 58. It's the only show I've ever seen an MMORPG community where the community takes center stage. We have 46,000 views just on PantheonPlus, 20.5 thousand hours of viewership just on this show. And that doesn't even include Twitch where people watch it. It's freaking crazy. 61 episodes of the podcast, which if you would have told me, Nathan, that I would be doing a podcast,
yeah.
I would have never thought that would.
That's that testament too of like, you never know where the wind's going to blow you kind of thing,
Yeah, you just kind of go with the flow, right? And it's funny because, if Theric was here, and maybe he'll jump in the chat later, there have been so many weeks where we're like, what are we going to talk about? This is going to be a horrible show. And then the relationship and just the fun I have in talking to Theric, and everybody sits here and looks at Theric and says, oh, he's such a nice. Theric's a button pusher, Nathan. He knows how to get me going. And
Theric does.
Oh, he does.
No way.
He'll admit it. He knows. He knows how to make the show interesting. He knows how to get me fired up. And it's funny because there's so many times like this is going to be a bad show. And then at the end of it, we're actually like, that was one of the best shows we've ever done. I can't wait to put that out. I can't wait for the live show, the live premiere, right? But 61 episodes of a freaking podcast. We have almost 52,000 views and almost 100 downloads per episode. And that's going crazy. And we have 18,000 hours of viewership on the podcast. That's on YouTube. That's without the downloads. And the biggest one for me, and this is huge, for those that don't know, if you were on a YouTube channel, sometimes your video gets put into search algorithms and people will just scroll by it, right? Like, so they're not going to click on your video and watch it, but you'll see Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen, blah, 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 this thing and that thing, Pantheon. Nathan, 4 million impressions that we've had across YouTube. 4 million. It's crazy to see that. And to know that little old us who didn't have a clue how to do this, and really, do we now even have a clue how to do this? We're still figuring it out all the day, right? Kind of evolve. 4 million impressions of taking Pantheon and putting it out into the world. And that's what it was always about. So why am I talking about all this? So tonight, for everybody watching or who's watching this on demand, this is officially my last video content, podcast, Twitch stream that I will be doing for PantheonPlus. It has been the wildest ride. I don't regret a single second of it. My life has changed so much. I've moved twice. It's just everything in my life has changed. Went through COVID. And Nate, we were really close during COVID because stuff was crazy during that. And, I didn't have a job. And, we became a lot closer. We can talk a lot more. We started texting. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then the community started to really support us. They were giving donations during the rewind and we were giving that back. We've donated a ton of money in pledges. So why am I stepping away? Well, listen, I'm stepping away because
whoa.
Life is hard. Life is challenging. And this is a 40-hour, 50-hour a week job. And, I'm a dad. I run a really high pressure store. And I just got a lot going on and I need to clear my plate a little bit for my life and for what's next. So I just saw that Ani6 says, is PantheonPlus done? Nope. No. And this is where I am so happy to say what I'm about to say, even though I'm a little emotional. You probably hear my voice a little bit. PantheonPlus is not done. When I created PantheonPlus, it was me, Haya, and Poiru, and we were from WoW. And we came here to try to drive this, right? And we said, community matters, community matters, community matters. Today, after this stream, I'll be handing over everything to my team, which is Theric, Drac, Poiru,
Whoa.
who have been around for most of the run. Poiru's been here since day one. I'm handing it back to them. But more importantly, in the last couple of weeks, we've actually built up the Pantheon Plus team. We've brought in Sparrow, who a lot of people probably know from the community. We've brought in DM Harms, who's all over the community. If you've been on forums or you've been watching Pantheon PlusYou, DM Harms is joining the team. He's going to help with not only some of the website stuff, but some content. We finally, and honestly, I would have traded myself for this, Nathan. We found another programmer in a well-known community member named Bounty Code, who's going to be working
love me
with
some Bounty
Poiru.
Code.
He's awesome.
We're
bringing in Bounty Code to help with programming of the site to speed it up. Very soon, we're launching forums on the website, which is going to give everybody the opportunity. It's going to lead to eventual guide creation. It's going to lead to crafting conversation. We're going to have news there. So the Pantheon Plus team is going to have a complete news section to pull comments from Joppa on Discord, on Twitter, on the forums, anything that's out there, to put it into one place for you to get every single update you need. So it's crazy. Let's talk a little bit about the content. So I'm handing my YouTube channel over. I'm handing over the Twitter accounts, all the social media, Twitch. Theric will be running with the support of Drac, leading the team with Poiru. Theric will still continue the rewind. So I just saw somebody say, is the rewind going away? Nope. It's evolving. The ideas are phenomenal, and it's going to be amazing. The streaming, Drac is going to take it over. I'm helping him transition into it. We're giving him the overlays, building everything we can for him. It's going to be incredible. Here's the thing. As sad as I am the proudest person in the world right now, because to come out and say day one that it's all about community, right? All about community. It's all about community. And after tonight, I'm taking everything that could only be made by the community, everything you helped us do. I'm taking that and I'm literally giving it back to the community. Because as much as I love Drac and Theric, I didn't know them when this started. Nathan, I didn't know you.
True.
Everyone.
Think about all the people like that we do know, right? So typically you meet some people when an MMO comes out and you have to get in groups. Pantheon's not even out. And like, I know so many people from the community and know things about them and have inside jokes with so many of you, you know, and it's like that for all of us. And also it's been very special because the content creators for Pantheon stuck together and we were friends. And so our communities are shared, and it's just it's beautiful. I mean, I want to say it's been beautiful, but it's going to continue to be beautiful. And also, I think it's fair to say, Minus, you're not leaving the community, right?
I'm just stepping back.
Just stepping back from this, right? But he'll still be part of the community.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to just go away.
Fallen, right?
You just don't have to worry about my takes on transmog anymore. You don't have to worry about, like it's. To be honest, most people are probably going to be happy, right? About like tons of loot, about vertical progression, right? Like I like vertical progression. About saying not everything can be immersion. You know, everybody is really just going to. I mean. Me and Theric talked about this today. I said a great tagline for all of this would be like, everybody watches the rewind or listens to the rewind for Theric. Everybody loves Theric. Basically, Theric's giving me the boot. He's going to go find another guy and maybe you guys will like him. No, I'm kidding. It's crazy. I'm not going to go into the detail on this stream because it's super personal and you guys don't want to hear that crap, but it is crazy the sacrifice and the decisions I've made in the last 3 years. And every second was worth it. Every frustration was worth it. Every backstage politic argument, friendships, falling apart, losing it was all worth it because at the end of the day, like I believed in being right to people. I believed in community and I fought for it. And Nathan, you have stood by me every freaking second. And if I haven't said it enough, I love you. You're my brother. That will never change. You made this possible just as much as I did because you supported me from day one, dude. And that will never change. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to take one of us dying to end that friendship, buddy. or maybe more singing. I don't know, one of those two. No, yeah. So we started the stream with that. I know it's pretty heavy. We've been talking about it for 25 minutes, but here's the biggest ask. Please, for those of you who've supported me, Pantheon Plus is going to be stronger than ever. It's never been the Minus show. Never. And you guys are about to see that. Theric and Drac know what they're doing. The new talent we're bringing on is phenomenal. And there's more coming. There's more people coming. We got a streamer we're talking to. I don't want to say his name because I know he's still figuring stuff out. The community is taking over Pantheon Plus just like it's supposed to be. It's freaking awesome. So thank you to everybody. We got a lot more to talk about. We got a whole stream to talk about here. So sorry to load you with the sap, but please support these guys. I'm sure things are going to be different. I'm sure there's going to be stumbles. I'm sure they're going to have to figure things out. Maybe there's going to be a week where there's not a rewind. Maybe there's going to be a miss on a show, but they're going to figure it out and I'll still be here to support them. But more than anybody, they need you as a community, because if the community matters and you guys have gotten us to this point, take them to the next level. Because when I look back and I look at what's been done here, I want to know that without me, it was better than it ever was. And you guys are the ones that can do that. The community does that. So thank you. And Nathan, keep an eye on my guys for me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing I do want a disclaimer about this, guys, it's going to smell a little bit more like elves. Okay. So just prepare yourselves. It's gonna smell a little more elfy around here. That's for sure.
Oh, I really hope whoever replaces me on the rewind isn't an elf fan. Oh. And if I find out that there's bears on stream or we're hanging out with bears, I'm going to be really pissed off, Nathan.
No, now I got that bear on my team. Remember?
Okay. Yeah, when you guys do the draft next year, that bear, it better not be on a Pantheon Plus team. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so Nathan, we got a lot to talk about because it's not just about us. This show is a recap show for the developers stream, the hard work those guys put in. And tonight you guys are seeing it behind us. We saw some awesome stuff. So what we're going to do here, guys, is me and Nathan are going to talk about the stream. We're going to go through some stuff in about 15 minutes or so. We'll start going to that green room. So !Discord will give you the information on how to join our Discord. If you're already in there, jump into the green room. If you want to come on and talk about the Monk stream, if you just want to come on and talk about the future of Pantheon Plus, please do. We'd love to hear from you tonight, and we'll stay as long as we need to for you guys. Nathan's like, did he say as long as we need to? Yes, I did. So
I'm down. I'm down. I'm down.
Awesome. So get in that green room, have some fun, get live on the air, hear your voice. It'll be a fun time. So Nathan, Monk stream. So we both kind of said neither one of us are going to play a monk, but we really like monks, right? That's what we kind of talked about.
Yeah, monks are, so of course, when I think of a monk, I think of the EQ monk. But that's really the only monk I really thought was cool, I'm going to be honest. The other monks in other games, I mean, they weren't horrible or nothing, but they weren't, they didn't seem to stand out as much as the EQ monks. So when I say monks are cool, I'm talking about that, right? But yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park, man. Wasn't expecting this amount of like proactive gameplay. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I tell you, it scares me a little bit, right? Because I'm planning on playing a tank and feign death and being able to sustain all that damage with the 2 cooldowns that I remember at least from watching it once. Dude, the monk can definitely. They can tank, and a really good monk might be better than a mediocre, tank. I mean, it's super.
Yeah, it depends on your healers, right? It's going to depend on your healers. It's going to depend.
True.
I think what I've seen, and maybe I'd be very curious to hear what the chat room has to say. The monk feels like a class that has skill involved, and I'm not saying the other classes don't, but there's varying level of skill that's required. Where if you're really good at your class, like you're going to be this good, right? Like you can play it here, you can be average, but some classes like in MMORPGs, like if you play it well, you have a ceiling. I feel like this class has a very strong ability to be very situational. The way that they open and close gates, the way that they set up their auto attacks before they get in, the way to close the gates, open the gates in scenarios, to tank in different scenarios, to know when you can take a ton of damage, right? To build up that defense that comes after it. There's a lot
the
to it.
repercussion for that too, right? I got really excited about that because at first I was like, "Dang, this is OP! Dang, this is OP!" And then I realized there's a sacrifice, right? Like when you're building up, you can't be healed, HOTS or anything like. You got to be strategic, right? And you got to make that decision. Like, is it worth it for the extra damage? So little things like that are where you're going to have good monks and you're going to have average monks. And you're going to have terrible monks, right?
Yeah. And it's funny, Nathan, when we said like monks aren't a class we'd play, there's really only one reason I won't play a monk. I'm into the whole martial arts and the throwing fists and stuff. Haya plays a monk, and he only plays a monk. And so he like silos, and he is so good when he silos. And like, I will never play a monk in any game because I know that there'll be a moment where he says to me, "Well, hey, if you do this, you'd be a lot better." And I can't take that from Haya. We're great friends, right? We're great friends. But at the same time, like I gotta beat him. I gotta beat him. And I can't play his class because I'm at an instant disadvantage if I play his class. Like he won't play a rogue and I won't play a monk because we know we're going to cross that area. So it's pretty interesting. Just a couple things I want to mention before we jump in, and we're going to pull people in from the green room here very soon. I've never seen a game where you put passives on an action bar to actually set up your passive rotation. So I guess if you hit or crit on something, it will activate one of your passives and throw it into your passive auto attack. I've never seen that in any game.
I've never heard of that. Yeah.
Ever.
That's a really good idea because it takes up a slot, right? It's not just a passive, in your menu. You got to put it out. You got to make that decision, and then you get that advantage, which is, and you know what? They did a good build up on that, right? Because that was like the first thing they talked about. And I was just sitting here like, well, what else is the monk going to do? You're saying his kick is in there.
You're just going to have this like rotation of auto attack down below.
Feign death, auto attack. Yeah, let me go get something to drink. So, that was a good way to start it, to kind of build the suspense of like, okay, well, what do you got in store for the monk? And they delivered, man. The sun moon thing. We got to talk about that.
Yeah. We will. So we saw a lot of cool abilities. The tap or hold. The blazing hand punch, really cool. I wonder, because I don't think they said it, it takes a certain amount of chi, right? So if you only have a certain amount of chi and you hold it in, will it just auto release if you run out? I'd imagine it would, right?
That's what I got from it. Yeah.
Okay. So if you only have like 25% chi and you hold that in, you may not be able to get the full 3 seconds off, which looks like it's the max that you can do. So interesting. Yeah. I'm very interested to see how that works. Can we get a super backstab? Backstab, that'd be great. So that's what I'd like there.
Just kind of all the way through. That's what Joppa said.
So what was really cool, like I'm not going to go through all the abilities because you guys can watch the stream. We're not here to like replace the stream. We're just here to talk about it. I really like how the inner, so what is it called? Inner fountain. It's so multifunctional. Right? So you can keep it up to refill your chi, but you also can use it to close your gates. So if you have a plan on how you want to attack something and you open a gate, but you say, I still need this ability, you can use that even if you don't need chi to close your gates so you can do something. So really cool combination. And they brought it up with Fiend Death, right? I say Fiend, I know it's Feign. Listen, I've said it since EverQuest. Like, is anyone here surprised that I say something wrong? Right? Joppa's not. I know that. So Fiend Death, that's how I'm going to say it. So when you Fiend Death, having that in your pocket for emergencies to close all the gates and then just to Fiend Death is pretty cool. So I like that. Chi Burn. We got to talk about that too. We're going to get into your topic here. But Chi Burn, just the ultimate killing machine, essentially, right? Like you get attack up, crit up. You can't cancel it, right? You're either gonna lose all your chi, or you're gonna die, essentially.
Yeah, right.
I love it. I immediately think to myself like burn phases. You know, like if there's a burn phase for a fight, just bam, pop that, go to town. And nobody asked this, or at least Ronik didn't read it, but I'm very curious. And Nathan, let me get your thoughts just on what you've seen. Is the monk going to compete in DPS with, and here's my thought, wizard, ranger, my thought process are going to be the top DPS classes.
Right.
Is monk going to be with them or in that next tier where I think rogue should be?
So here's my thoughts on that. I think long term, maybe, right? If it was a long fight, they may even possibly, if they're really good, surpass them, right? But I think short term, like a normal fight, that's not like a raid boss or something super intense. I don't think so. I think they'll be really bursty and it will feel really good. You know what I mean? And you'll be able to build up to some really big numbers. However, they could take the approach where, since it is a melee and it has to be close, so it's in more danger, and plus it's probably going to be taking some aggro, they could do it to where they can do good damage if they're suspecting that there'll be a lot of moving in combat, right? So we haven't gotten to see the new behavior AI, for example. That may really change everything, right? And if there's a lot of movement, then the melee needs to have a lot of DPS to kind of counteract the that they actually are going to be out of range a lot. So I don't know. I think when it launches, it's going to be OP because people are going to figure out ways to exploit different abilities and everything. But final, after they tune it and all that, I don't know, man. I don't think it should be better than the monk because he can also feign death. He can tank in a pinch, So I
So you think you kind of have, and again, guys, we're totally making all this up.
We're just, we have no idea.
Do you agree with me though that wizard ranger are kind of the one in the one
Yeah,
A
wizard
DPS?
should be number one and ranger right behind it. Yeah.
And then you kind of have what, rogue, summoner, monk, I guess would kind of be in there.
Yes, I think rogue and monk should be pretty close, right? You agree with that?
It's interesting.
They should be competing, I feel like, if you had a parser up.
It'll be interesting to see like how much support the rogue ends with and how much tanking the monk ends with. Because the one thing about support tanking is that they're going to need a DPS. I don't think we heard anything about aggro, did we? Threat, taunt, or
no? People asked, and there was no official response.
Yeah. So we don't know how does a monk get aggro for that? Is it
pure
only
DPS,
when
maybe?
Is it pure DPS? Tank dies, then the monk has it. Is it just on the pole that you use that?
Joppa was holding the aggro really well. He was the one playing the monk, right? So he was.
But Sacred was playing the Dire Lord, I think. So
okay.
I mean,
it might be a good point. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Kyle just said the gate of anger increases their threat while open. So there you go.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so yeah, that's good. So yeah, I mean, when you think about it, a wizard, I just feels like straight DPS. I personally feel, we don't know much about the ranger. I know they're going to have some utility with the pets and stuff that Joppa talked about, but I still feel like they're going to be heavy DPS. Then the rogue's going to have this support, tricksy side.
Mm-hmm.
The monk's going to have the the tanking side and all this threat gain. And then at the same time, the summoner, I just feel like it's got a pet. It's really versatile. So I just feel like those three are flexing a little more or have more flex capability at the sake of DPS. Again, completely making all this stuff up. So,
yep. Iron Palm is the monk's taunt ability, Joppa says, and opens the gate of anger. So there you go.
Cool.
There you go.
Cool. So you have 5-second bursts every time you can hit that to kind of like get your aggro up. That's awesome.
So here's what I was thinking real quick about that. So what I kept thinking of when I was watching them play the monk was when they let us play Castle Devier, right? And we purposefully said, let's try to do it without a crowd control to see if the game is playable, even if you're missing an important key role, right? And so you did crowd control, and I think we did pretty darn good. So what I was thinking is that the kind of tank the monk is, right? Like, hey, there is no tank. We got a monk. He can do it, though. Right, might take a little slower, might have to be a little more careful, but we can do it, right? You think that's maybe the round that monk is?
I don't know. That's a really interesting question because I've heard so many times VR has said bursts of tanking, bursts of evasion. That's been a saying since I started following it.
That's a good point.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how much they'll be able to do it as a constant tank. I mean, if you have 2 healers, depending on your group makeup, if you're CCing, then maybe you can. Your group makeup's probably gonna matter. But yeah. So see how long you can flex a muscle, Joppa said. So we'll see.
There you go.
I remember he said that before, like as long as you can hold it. Like I don't have muscles, so I don't know. I mean, like I can pretend here, but it'll just be embarrassing. So Nathan, you wanted one of the last things I want to make sure we talk about. There's a couple more, but you brought up the setting sun, rising moon. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm one of those people. I have to watch the video a couple times to really get a real grasp on things. That's why I don't ever release a video immediately after, because I got to watch it over and over and over to really be like, now I see. So all I got out of it was that it changes some abilities, right? So what I was thinking was between that, right? You've got the sun and moon, and then you've got your different gates, right?
Yep.
So between those two things, I know people are probably sick and tired of hearing this, but it feels to me like it's playing a monk long term will be similar in feeling to playing a old school EQ1 bard with twisting and, people will get like really good at this kind of dancing rotation. Like
Twisting.
in this scenario, do this. It is kind of, I mean, it's not the same thing, obviously.
No, twisting in and out of the gates, making sure your gates are open. It's actually, that's an interesting
and the different gates do different things. So like if you're really smart and you play the monk really well, I think you'll be able to manage it just right to ebb and flow, which is really cool because that's what monks are all about, right? Like the yin and yang and the ebb and flow of energy. And I just feel like that's kind of what it's going to feel like if you plan on maining a monk, which is super cool because if that's your thing, man, you can really stand above the crowd. I feel like playing the monk once you get that kind of understanding.
That is a great way of putting that. That actually that's great. I love it. Okay, so the other things here, I love the wind. What is it called? I wrote it down and I can't even read my own stuff, but the quick dash.
Right.
So that reminds me of an ability in WoW, slightly different with Shaman, where you can kind of like push yourself away, chase the wind. How did I cannot read that at all. Chase the wind. Love it. I love it so much. I have a certain button on my keypad that is my movement ability if I have one. And like that thing was popping it everywhere. It's awesome. So I really, really, really like that ability a lot.
All right,
G Spear looked cool. And then, by the way, just a quick side note of something important. The trait, not disposition, but the trait for the Blood Fangs, that pack hunting, sounded awesome. So you don't want to fight them together. Love it.
Oh, right.
And that's the big thing that we actually, Nathan, on one of the rewinds, we quoted Joppa talking in the unofficial Discord about traits versus dispositions. And we don't know a lot of traits right now. He mentioned one, but there's not a lot of traits out there. So,
and that's a good thing. I think we should have to figure that out. Yeah. I think they should keep that to themselves, right? We know about pack wolves. That's a good enough example. We got you now, right?
Yep.
So I like that a lot, man. I hope that they don't always stick, which they can't on some mobs, but I hope they get a little bit weird with it. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, Nathan, you want weirdness?
I know it's hard to believe. I'm obviously a pretty down to earth, normal guy, but I do hope that there's some like twists in there, right? Like okay, wolves hunting packs. We could probably guess that, right? I'm gonna say
how do turtles hunt? How do turtles hunt?
Turtles, they bite you if you put your nose too close. I don't know, but what I'm hoping is like you know what I'm talking about. Like sometimes you'll be playing an MMO and it's not even a feature in the game, but it'll say something like kill 10 snakes, and you'll be looking in high grass because that's where snakes are, right?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I hope it gets a little bit away from the norm sometimes and really throws us for a loop. Obviously, it has to when you get into like creatures, right? how, like, for example, when he said the packs of wolves, I was thinking, I wonder if that applies to the werewolves, right? Like,
Mm.
do they
Hmm.
also hunt in packs, or is that totally different? All that kind of thing.
Yeah, Cerulean says avoid kicking snakes. What if there's two snakes and they can double kick you, like drop kick you?
Dude, I really hope they do the one thing where when you kill a snake, it has a chance of dropping one boot, and you have to get the other boot from
Oh,
another
it'd be
snake.
great. And then
Then you got
combine them so that
Yeah,
you have
you
to.
gotta
Oh,
then you can wear them. I really want that.
oh, that's awesome. All right, so that's everything. I think the class looks phenomenal. I think that the class shows a lot of the internal development, which they talked a little bit to, like how this has unlocked different systems or capabilities on stuff they wanted to do for other classes. Very impressed. Very impressed by the flow. It's not rotation based. It's more like situational based. It's reaction based. Pretty cool. Digging it. Digging it a lot.
Yeah.
So Nathan, if you're ready, we're going to go to the green room. So like we said, you want to come live on the air, we're going to pull you right live on the air. We want to hear what do you think of the dev stream? What questions do you have? You can talk about Pantheon Plus and its future, whatever you want to talk about. We're going to bring everybody that we can in from the green room. Right now we have 5 people in there. We had a lot more in there earlier. So if you want to jump back in, jump in there, and we're going to start pulling people in. So I know that CryptFox was there very early tonight. So I'm going to grab CryptFox. He's a fellow streamer. We'll give you a heads up before we pull you in so you can get ready. But CryptFox, we're bringing you in first. So let me bring him in. CryptFox, what's going on, man? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. How's it going?
Going good,
Hey.
man. What'd you think of the stream? What overall? What are you thinking tonight?
I thought it was great. What was it? A lot of things came to mind because I'm really interested in playing the monk. I have a little bit of background playing the Final Fantasy monk.
Mm,
So the aesthetics are really eye candy for me. And just seeing some of the abilities, my brain was already getting the gears turning, seeing how I was going to use them. So like the one where you negate all the damage and you heal for that certain amount.
yep.
And the next thing I heard was when Nathan was talking about the taunt ability and how monks might be able to be replacing tanks in certain situations. But to me, it seems as though they would fit in great as that off tank, like paired up against next to a paladin, right? So say
Ooh.
you're going into a tough fight, you use the Iron Palm when a rend ability is popping up, and you pop the other ability that negates the damage. So you eat that damage, and then the tank taunts back. So it's that ebb and flow, the yin and the yang, back and forth, being that off tank.
I like
I
that.
like it.
I like that a lot, especially if there is sort of a taunt, right? To grab some aggro to take that shot, negate it, tank takes it back. I love that. That's a great, great thought. I also played a lot of the Final Fantasy monk. The positional stuff was awesome to me. There's a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
people who say it was too fast. I think we've actually talked about on the rewind, you brought it up, that some people think it's a little too crazy because you would literally, you'd be behind it and then you need to go to the side, hit it with 2 abilities, quick, go to behind it. So it was kind of crazy. But I
Are we
really
talking
enjoyed
about Final
that.
Fantasy 14 monk, or are
Yeah,
we talking
Yeah.
about Final Fantasy 11? Okay,
No,
okay,
14,
okay,
14,
okay. I
yep.
want to make sure we are on the same page. Okay.
Yeah, I think
So
about 50% of the mobility from that would be about decent for this. So
Yeah,
a lot less of the movement.
the monk now, I haven't played 14 seriously in a while, but the monk class in 14, I was talking about this earlier, so I kind of want to get your take on it because it's definitely a thing in 14 where there's a ton of mobility moving around, and the monk has to eat a lot of damage in that game because they'll be finish up a combo or whatever, and they don't have time to quite get out of the AOE or whatever. It's just common in that game that monks might take some damage because of them having to be the closest than any other class. So how do you feel about that in Pantheon? Do you like that? Is that part of the challenge and love, or what do you think about that?
Taking damage as being part of close combat.
Mhm.
I think you're gonna get that with any melee class.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter which one. Like you're gonna be soaking up a little bit of damage as rogue just for proximity to like enemies. They might have a cleave ability or an AOE on a specific situation. uh, it's just the nature of being a melee.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
Well, Crip Fox, can you tell people before we jump you out here to go to the next person, can you tell people how they can find you on Twitch, please? Because I know you've been streaming up there. So how can they, and you can link it in the chat. We'll approve it for you. So.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Twitch as Crip Fox. You could find me here, and I'll throw it down there. I am doing a lot of variety streaming. Been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight, Dark Alliance, Dungeons and Dragons. I'm gonna be playing New World coming up soon, and I'm definitely gonna be streaming Pantheon once that alpha comes out because I'm on that alpha, and hopefully I'll be playing with you two guys here because I played with Nathan in EQ2 when we started that guild like that.
Oh, Nathan, we don't talk about EQ2, right? That's awesome. Crip Fox, thank you, buddy. And here's the thing, guys. Again, Pantheon Plus, all about being a platform to push other streamers, get you to know different people. The best thing this community can do is help homebrew some streamers who are going to stream Pantheon. Because don't forget, when the floodgates open, they're going to open. And getting some credible people in there that the community can support and look to help negate some of that craziness that's going to come. It's a big deal. So give Crip Fox a watch, and hopefully we'll see him streaming some Pantheon in the future. Crip Fox, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's
Appreciate it, guys.
Let's look after our own, and Crip Fox is one of our own. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Take it easy, guys. Thank you very much. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Bye.
All right. Next up, we're going to go with Maya. She actually, Maya. She's literally on my team, and I can't say her name. But
I've literally been on streams where she told you how to pronounce it. So
her name is phonetically spelled, which is the best part, and I still messed it up. It's one of those things. I've said it right sometimes. I've said it wrong 4 different ways, and then my head says, "Wait, which one was right? Was it the one I think is right, or is it all the wrong ones?" Yeah,
I understand that. Yeah,
we're gonna bring her in. So Maya, I'm bringing you in now. Hi, Maya. How are you?
I just think it's hysterical. You cannot say my name.
I can't. It's.
And like I think in Discord.
I got no answers.
It's Minus. It's just it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of his quirks.
We all have flaws.
Yeah.
It's funny when people on stream were talking about not pronouncing was in Tehom.
Yeah.
They weren't pronouncing his name right. I'm like, come on, guys. Oh, yeah. We got to come on. Let's get names right at least here, huh? That's the best we can do. So. Oh, man. Maya, did you see Joppa says the Celtic creameries feel your pain? Oh, those Majongs. You got to watch those Majongs. When you guys are playing, watch out for the Majongs. So, Maya, what did you think about the stream or just in general, anything about Pantheon Plus? What's on your mind tonight?
I was kind of interested about the monks, abilities and like that, which kind of surprised me. It's not something I normally do. I tended to stay away from my from melee classes. But aside from that, I'm very upset with you for leaving.
Sorry. No, it's tough. Leading up to tonight's been very hard. I'm a very emotional guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Sometimes, Nathan, it's for the worst when your wife thinks that we're not friends anymore. But I like to think that I have it under control to be better. But Maya, it's been awesome working with you. You've been a hoot. You keep the community engaged in the Discord and big crafting fan, something that obviously I know nothing about. So your balance of your knowledge in crafting is phenomenal. So, you're in great hands. You're still part of the same team. You just don't got to worry about me anymore. And it's probably going to make life a little easier. Let's be honest.
and you still have to help us through dungeons, tell us, no, turn left back there. You went too far, come back. All that, all the same stuff.
Hey guys, there's 3 people trying to ask you a question right now.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Nathan, they really want to know why you're not making a puppet of Sacred. If you make a Sacred puppet, can you make it? It's mostly just arms. Like, can you do real small body, just giant arms and a small body? That would be so good. That would be the best. I don't know if anyone's ever caught Sacred streams back in the day, but he made sure the camera was always like on his guns, and he'd sit here like this while he's playing, and the light would be like perfectly glistening off of his arms. And be like, hey guys, just playing this first person shooter, and I'm a cyber athlete. Like, oh, hold on, let me grab this drink. Like, oh, it's like that's pretty much every sacred stream. But that would be a great puppet, just arms, just big arms.
Oh wait, no, you have no room to talk, Mister. Doing push-ups.
Hey, that was a crazy night. I can't believe how many I did. I think I did 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was on the mark. Like, there's days where I was doing 10 every day, and like I couldn't do 10 because like I was tired, but I somehow did. I did not do 8.5 push-ups, Sigurd. I did 15. But
Thank God you could barely breathe, but
I couldn't breathe. I was dying. I was like,
I think
that's
I
the
could
funniest
do,
part. Yeah.
I think I could do 15 if there's ice cream on the floor. Like, as I was coming down and getting a bite of ice cream, I think then I could do it.
Well, Maya, thank you. I love the monk class. And honestly, if it wasn't for Haya, the monk class actually did interest me quite a bit. I can be honest. It looks like a very high skill class, which I enjoy, but I can't play a monk for Haya. I will not compete with Haya in his main class. It is like, I can't live with that. So, but Maya,
then I'll put you rich. Remember that for me too.
Well, hey, I won't be a stranger. So good luck to you and the team. They're going to need your support. You've been there for a little bit longer than some of the people coming in. So just make sure to give Theric a lot of help for me. Okay. Make sure, can you kind of maybe, not like elves so much? I mean, just so we have someone, just even if it's pretend.
Maybe just tone it down to half elf.
Yeah. Half elves are fine.
That was the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the plan. She's going to be a half elf.
Oh, there you go.
Oh no, halfling. Half elf.
Hey, halflings. Don't you dare.
Cool.
Don't you dare.
Cool.
Halfling is not half elf. Let's okay. All right.
I know,
with that, I'm kicking you back to the green room with all that slanderous talk. So have a good night. Thank you, Maya.
Good night.
All right, let's go with oh my gosh, we have Idiotech in there. And Idiotech, if you want to unmute your mic, we'll bring you in next. One of the very first people to ever come on the stream, by the way.
And that was your best mistake.
No, because don't say it. Because ready? Here we go.
Okay.
Everybody, welcome to the show, Idiot EQ.
Thank you. It's good to be here. As an idiot for EQ, I really got to say.
So the best part is he's literally one of the first people to come into the green room. He supported us on our really early episodes. His name is spelled Idiot EQ. Let's be fair. It's Idiotech. I get that it's Idiotech. Yeah. But in this community, you see EQ, you think it's EQ, right? Like let's be real with ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought the same thing. I just didn't say it.
It really, the word, it's a Radiohead song. There is a UE at the end of it. So I've always when you're a kid, you like shorten things. You're like, oh, it's cool. It's short. Yeah. So it's funny that it is coming full circle now. And as I'm using it in the game I want to play, it has a different meaning. Hey, I'll leave it that way, If people want to think that's it, and I'm like an old EQ veteran,
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I thought you just meant like you're a complete idiot for EQ. Like that. Lose your mind for the EQ.
Well, I've become one, because I've been watching your streams and everything too, Nathan. So, I'm really interested in it. I'm becoming an idiot for EQ.
It's just so funny because he didn't correct us for, I don't know, months, maybe a year. He just was like, I'll go with it. And then we find out it's Idiotech, and we've been calling him an idiot for like a year.
Well, you got to think with this name, how many times when I get, into a salty group, how many times that comes up, Idiot. Oh, you're pulling like your name. Okay, bro.
All right, so Idiot EQ, what are your thoughts on the stream tonight? Anything that we've talked about on the show, Pantheon Plus, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I did, I wrote in the chat that I had to go for it. So I missed, everyone kind of talking. But I will say I did watch the stream. It was awesome. I mean, they showed just enough for me to be excited about where it's going to go and how the monk's going to flow. And I am glad that we got to see a decent amount of its tanking capabilities.
Yeah.
The DPS portion of it, like I can already see a group of like 2 or 3 of these just ripping through things and just, having like a group where you have healers just healing them constantly, but they look like they just do so much more damage. And again, I know numbers aren't final, but they just look like they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and that goes back to EQ a little bit. And I've told this story a few times, so I'm not going to get into it. But I had played a wizard, and then I saw the Ixar, I think so on Kunark, I saw the monk. It's probably a human actually, and I just watched how fast they were hitting, right? Because EQ is very white damage, and playing like a warrior or playing a wizard and the slow pace that the game was. I see this monk run by, and I think at the time it was with fighting battens, like that was pretty early on in Kunark. And they were just hitting so fast, and you see the combat log, and it's like hit, and I'm like, what? So I went and made a monk because of that, because it feels. Look, Jaffa's battens.
I knew that was coming.
Was it batons? Is it batons?
Yeah.
What are they? A cheerleader? It's a baton.
Well, I'd also like to mention, I'm from Louisiana. It is pronounced Baton Rouge, not Baton Rouge. I'd just like to say. So
Jaffa says, "Hey, I didn't name him."
Well, I was gonna say along the lines that with that my thing being idiot EQ, but I didn't play that. I did play Final Fantasy 11, and I'll say the common thread here, what I see is that when you follow a monk, it's about that auto attack speed and that just pure, just where it's an onslaught. And I always there's a video you can look up on YouTube. There's an item called the Kraken Club, and it was very rare in the game, and it had a chance to hit something ridiculous, like a chance on hit to hit 2 to 8 times. And the thing to do for a lot of the end game content was to give a monk one of those. And they had a move that was called 100 Fists, and it was exactly that. You just attacked super fast. There was a 2-hour ability. You could only use this ability once every 2 hours in the game. And you gave them a Kraken Club, and it was just a wall of text. Everything went away. It was just monk damage for the rest of the fight. And awesome. I'm just seeing that here. It's really cool to see kind of the things I'm expecting from a monk come to life in this. So
it's awesome.
No issues there. Awesome stream.
Awesome, man. Happy to hear. Anything else?
And with you taking your step back, I do hope for the best, man. Honestly, you've been such a rock here in the community. I remember, I started with other people watching, and I remember seeing your first videos, maybe the one you're even talking about that you reacted to, your first video. I remember seeing
audio used to pierce people's ear. I was super loud and pitchy, and audio would cringe and hurt people's ears, and you couldn't even hear how those days were. I watched some of the at one point I was like, Cerulean just said the first cleric video, it's the exact one. I actually, in the future, once I learned how to do audio editing, I remastered that video a little bit so it didn't kill people who watched it.
Yeah. I remember that, yeah. Well, man, watching that early on, at that moment, and I'm sure Nathan, you could even attest, because I feel like you started maybe around the same time, a little bit earlier, but anyone who was talking about Pantheon, you were in it. I would go on YouTube and just put in Pantheon Rise of the Fallen and go, within the last 48 hours, who's posted something? And, I started seeing your videos, and here we are years later. And honestly, I hope for the best. That this is an awesome community, and I hope to be a part of it well into when we all do get to play together.
It's going to be awesome. And, I don't remember who said it, but, we haven't even started playing the game yet. Nathan, you said it. And I can't think of anything. I mean, maybe I'm looking with rose-colored glasses, but I can't think of another game that's farther out. We can't play it, right? And that there's so many relationships that are so meaningful to me. And I think that there's a lot of people that can relate to that. That's community. That's the people we want to play with, man. And the more people we can bring in, when we were giving pledges away, how many stories we heard when we gave pledges away on the Rewind, where it was oh man, I really wanted to pledge, but I'm really hard on money right now, or life's really hard, and I follow it from a distance, or my wife or significant other would kill me if I pledged. I had to actually convince them that I didn't, and you gave this to me. It's just really cool because we're bringing people in. We got our arms open as a community, and hey, I don't care what game you played. I'm not gatekeeping. Come in, come have fun with us while we wait, and it's awesome. So.
100%. Yeah, I'm glad to be here for it, and I'm glad I can come on this not last stream, but for a little while for you. At least I can come on, let you know we appreciate you, man.
Awesome, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Idiotech.
Of course, of course, man. Yeah, thank you guys. Awesome stream, VR. Appreciate it all.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, we got a few more. We got Radil, who's been coming on the show pretty recently, pretty often. So Radil, we're going to get you on the show next to talk about the Monk stream or Pantheon Plus or whatever you want to talk about, because that's what this is for. So let's go ahead and bring them in. Radil, how are you?
Not bad.
Radial. There's raid.
Yes.
Listen, fix it. Okay, sorry. What's
Sorry
going on?
to
How
see
are
you
you?
leaving as soon as. Not too bad. Sorry to see you leaving as soon as I started joining on all this.
Well, we didn't want to
Yeah,
say
I
it,
really
but it's
enjoyed
your
it.
fault. So,
Probably.
so what's up, man? Like, what'd you think of the stream, and how's your being part of the community been so far?
Not too bad. The stream was really good. I made me have some concerns, but
Okay, shoot
yeah,
him
that was
out.
one of
Yeah,
my-
shoot him out.
So my concern, I'm kind of want to hear Napalm's thoughts on it. Is I plan on playing a tank, and the tank group, with how well you play the rogue and how the monk seems to really be able to off tank, I feel like the tank group just lost all of its secondary ability in a group. When you're talking about, because normally you pull two tanks in there, so you have one off tank, you have an area where you're just pulling minor groups, you're not going to have like major big pulls. Now with the monk being able to do so well in the off tanking, I just feel like the tank class as a makeup has just got reduced to you're only going to have one in your group, and any other is going to have a really hard time getting that pickup group
It's an
because they
interesting
already have a
take.
tank.
Yeah.
So the DPS classes are really taking over that off tank area. It's got me concerned. So I want to hear what Nathan thinks on that.
Yeah. So I feel, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of that jealous type on classes. For example, for anybody that played Final Fantasy 11, when the ninja was released in that game and they were suddenly tanking, and I was like, dude, that's not a tank class. And like it made me physically upset. Like, what are you doing tanking, right? Because I did feel like it took away. I do believe in this case, even in an off tank situation, I think that a real tank will be better, because they'll have more taunting build up and or snap, depending on what kind of tank it is that's more potent, and they'll be able to take the damage obviously better than the defense of a monk, even with their cooldowns, right? So a monk they can squirm by, right, and they'll be really good for pulling and feign deathing, or being an off tank and then not dying after they burn up their cooldowns, and then feigning death so they don't die. But I don't think most groups would rather have a monk as an off tank as opposed to a warrior, paladin, or dire lord, depending on the encounter. So I don't think it'll replace it. I just think it'll be another option just in case you don't have another tank available. They'll be able to pull it off.
I'm still going with the 5 rogues, 1 healer group makeup. That's where I think.
What do you think about that, though? Do you think that that's also kind of what you feel, or do you think not?
Well, I think it really is going to depend how, when Joppa said that, there's going to be a limited amount that they can actually use, like 3 to 5 times, that they can use some of those defensive during an active fight scenario. So I think it's going to be really dependent on how they mitigate the ability on that, because it's like the rogue, Minus did such a good job there that they had to go, oh, wait a minute, we need to look at this. Until they actually started doing some gameplay and testing, obviously it's not, but it raised some concerns for me, because I plan on playing your arch nemesis, a dire lord. And so it's like, okay, if I'm playing,
there's no warriors in this community. If you're a warrior, say something in chat, because I literally have never talked to someone who's like, I'm real excited to be a warrior. Maybe Def and Hoye, I think, are the only ones that I know.
Well, warrior's my backup.
Okay.
Warrior's my backup. So if paladins don't like them for some reason, then I'll be a warrior. And I think warrior's a lot of people's backup. You also got to remember, this is the EQ crowd, right?
Warriors weren't so good. Yeah.
They're good tanks, but kick for
shield
180 hours, so Joppa commented on that too. He said that monks are a ticking time bomb. I can't find it. Yeah, the clock is always ticking with the monk off tank, not so with the true tank. So the true tank have an actual defense naturally with gear and also more abilities geared in that way. The monk can pull it off in a pinch, but definitely just for a little while, and then they're in trouble.
This is so funny. So in 2 sentences, Jaffa said the following. He says, Paladins are going to be so cool. I don't see Nathan converting. So there you go. That's exciting. But then
Okay,
2 lines
good then.
down, he says, Warriors are going to be so cool. I can totally see Nathan converting.
And this is one of those games, and we're not even playing, but this is definitely one of those games where like I'm not gonna lie, I've never played a monk. I've never wanted to play a monk. I've never nothing ever, no feelings for me for monk. I liked them, like to be in the group, but I never wanted to be one. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a certain point, because we were already in chat together. There was a point where I was like, dude, I don't know, this looks pretty sweet. I might play a monk, and it happens with every class, right? So it's
See,
one of those
Nathan,
games,
what people
man.
don't know is I'm going to swerve everybody and make a elf ranger or elf druid. And
yeah.
everyone will be
And
like,
name
I
them
do have to agree with you. They've done such a good job on the last couple class reveals with the rogue and now the monk. It really makes you kind of go, man, that looks like a fun play. So you got to give it to VR for that. They're doing a really good job on some of these class reveals later on how well they're designing them.
Yeah,
Obviously
Yeah.
my goal is a Dire Lord, but there's definitely a few alts that I can see me playing. I'm not an altaholic, I'm not an alt person, so that should say quite a bit for how well they're doing.
Yeah, I'm not either. We could pull up any game, you name a game, and you'll see a character select with several characters, and they're all paladins. Like,
yeah,
I'll
you've
just
told
re-roll
me
a
you
paladin.
make like multiple of the same class.
Yeah, I'll do like a 2-hand. I'll do one that's sword and board, and then I'll get bored and be like, I want to do sword and board again. Like that's my alt is I roll another paladin. But it may be different for Pantheon, man. I don't know. There's a lot of classes like the wizard. I'm
So
really
have
interested in the
you
wizard.
has Joppa heard your complaints about the paladin yet? Like directly?
I don't know.
He's
But
out there. He's out there. Do you want to say it?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Do you want to say it?
And let me just say one other thing. This has been in the lore since ever, right?
So it's your
I
fault.
just didn't think that it would matter. You know what I mean? I thought I could just be like, yeah, whatever. I'll just role play or I'll just pretend like that ain't. But as the game's starting to progress, I'm starting to see how, for example, as a Dire Lord in Castle Deviere, and I had to go murder a man that I don't even know if he was innocent or not.
Guys, don't fall for it. Nathan killed him twice. So
listen, the second time he attacked me, I was scared. I just walked in the room, some dudes attacking me. I was like, whoa, God, what's going on? And I killed him. All right. That was an accident. All right. I think that would even hold up in the court of law.
Oh, that's funny.
Self-defense. But like, I don't know, man. Them being vengeful. I don't like being vengeful. I'm cool with the order. But like I've said over and over, we don't really, at least I don't. Maybe somebody does. I don't
You just
know the
got to
full story
RP
of the
hard.
order.
You got
Maybe the order is
hard.
really evil, though, right? Like maybe they're like super evil. I just need the paladin to be lawful good.
They can be dark mirror.
What a paladin is.
Clerics can be dark mirror, so maybe there is
Clerics
something.
can, yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm
Nice.
worried.
All right, Redeal, anything else?
No, that's it. I just, like I said, I have that little concern about our position in a group. Because I played Shadow Knight back in EQ back when it was live, way back in the day, and that was always one of the toughest things, finding a group as a tank class. Being that secondary one, you're always, being a Shadow Knight. Luckily, once we started getting that snap aggro, we were preferred in group. But I seen a lot of Paladin friends and also Warrior friends that in groups had trouble getting when you already had somebody else in group, or vice versa. If there was already a tank in group, you almost never seen a second tank get pulled into a group. And watching all this off tank and crowd control abilities of the DPS classes kind of got me concerned with that. So I hope that VR really has thought that through pretty well when they're bringing that in there. I know why they're bringing it in there, so that maybe you can have a mixed group makeup. But that when you tanks don't really have a secondary thing they can really pull into super well, And so seeing these other classes being able to do that so well just kind of really got me concerned. So
Yep.
I will let
It'd be
you guys go at
interesting.
it with the next person.
But don't forget, if you have 2 warriors, you can do Wall of Shield. So pretty cool. Just saying. All right, Radio. Have a great day. Thanks for jumping in, man. And don't worry, Pantheon Plus will be here.
Listen. All right, guys. Joke's over now. Joppa just said.
Wait, there was a joke? It's over?
Yeah. You guys have been giving me a hard time at this vengeful. Look, it's over now. You ready for this? I'm gonna screenshot this. Paladins are vengeful towards undeath and malevolence. I probably pronounced that wrong.
Wait,
and
do you
that
want me to
wrath,
say it?
and that wrath caused
Malevolence.
Thank you. And that wrath caused them to lead the order to pursue justice towards. How'd you say that again?
Right here, towards. Oh, I can't say it twice. Malevolence.
Malevolence. Good job. More actively. So it's in the pursuit of justice. It's vengeance to the evil. It's justice, basically. That is justice, right? Getting vengeful acts upon the evil and wicked.
Okay.
Bam. All right. Screenshotting that. Let me scroll
Pretty
back
much
up
a
here.
Shadow Knight. Okay, so we got a couple left.
Not at all. Not at all.
We got a couple left. We got Beard. So Beard, if you want to unmute your mic, as soon as I see you unmuted in Discord, I'll bring you in. We're going to go with DM Harms after that, and we're going to wrap up with Theric. It's going to be... Whew. All right, so Beard's coming in. Beard, yes, I do. Welcome to the show. How are you? I hope you enjoyed the stream. What's going on?
Oh, thank you. I did enjoy the stream a lot. I think for me, like these sort of like class breakdowns are like my favorite thing to wait for. Because like when you're waiting for a game to come out, you're really just trying to like tune in to like every little detail. And these streams, they really lay it all bare and kind of like let you know whether or not your predictions were right, and you really get to see the class for the first time. So for me, like that's really where I'm at right now. Like I'm just excited to see the monk. I always kind of felt like it would be kind of like the cerebral melee DPS, kind of like a foil to summoner, where a lot of the weight of the whether or not you are or are not a good DPS is going to be on the player's shoulders. And it was cool to actually see, like, I think that is going to be the case here.
And the limited action set, I think, makes the class even more interesting, which is, I think a lot of the conversation on limited action set has gone away, like the frustrations about it. I think there's probably still some frustration out there, but I think that it's become a lot more accepted. I think too that when the debates about limited action set were going on, there was less abilities I think that you could use at one time because it was just one bar. I think it was one bar of 12. Now you have the 8 and 6, so you have 14 instead of 12. But it sounds like to me, like you were just saying, Beard, is like the cerebral side of it, of like deciding which gates you're going to jump in and out of. How are you going to cancel to go to other gate spells? Do you take all the gates in your abilities so you can do crazy stuff? Or do you special, if you're not going to tank or you have no desire to tank, maybe you are in a group with a tank and an off tank, you don't take any of those gates of anger, so you're freeing yourself up for more damage. It's very interesting, the in and out of gates, as well as sort of the timing, the charging. I agree with you. I think that's a great way of putting it, cerebral. And I think it's probably the best class for melee to be cerebral. I think a monk, sneaky, slow, thought processing, but a ranger to me is going to just go up and start swinging and hacking, right? I don't know why. I kind of see a ranger almost like a warrior. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that monk, the quickness, the mind and body, the chi, just everything about it screams cerebral. I love that. I love how you put that. I thought that was great.
Yeah, there's... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
They're just sort of like two things off of that. Like, I didn't expect the chakras or the gates to be wound so tight together. Like I thought there would be more like a bar build up to unlock like more powerful abilities in a sort of a linear way. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that they were in tension with each other, and more importantly, that you would have tools to break that tension momentarily. I think that really makes Monk an interesting class. Then I really respect the level of theorycraft that goes into or will go into designing a monk bar, because it's not just that you have to put like, the things that you like, but like when you're in one gate, that's going to lock out other parts of your bar. And those are like dead slots until you can get back to them. So there's like an extra layer of tension, I guess. And I like cerebral classes are wound tight in that tension, and Monk has that there.
Yep.
It's very true. Yeah. And what you just said made me from the beginning really start thinking about that playing a monk in like harder content that's unknown to you, like your first, learning this new area or whatever it may be, is going to be a lot like playing chess, right? Like where you're trying to kind of make moves ahead, like of what you think the enemy's going to do as you're trying to move through gates at certain moments. There'll be like a really, especially for a new encounter like that. Okay, I'm moving into like more of a damage roll here, but I'm going to take more damage or whatever. And so it's gonna be interesting how people decide when to do what. And it's also going to probably make a lot of healers really mad. I would also like
Yeah, I predict it's going to be one of those classes that has a reputation for having inner ear problems.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Gutbeard, thank you for jumping in tonight. Really appreciate it. Love your take. Love the
Thank you,
cerebral
guys.
take there. Thanks for jumping in, man. All right, we got two more. Let's get DM Harms in here.
All
He's
right.
coming in a second. Get his mic and his headset unmuted.
This DM Harms is a healer, so we can hear the healer's perspective of the monk.
All right. Is he a healer?
good.
DM, you're playing a healer?
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a druid main,
That's right, baby. A druid, yeah.
which I think might be particularly interesting for the monk class, depending on how this all plays out. But we're doing a little bit of theory crafting in chat.
Nice. So overall, what'd you think?
Love the stream, honestly. Great. I could see why some people are putting 4s, because it was kind of almost exclusively on the class.
Yep. So if it's not your class, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I love the format. I just want to kind of call that out because like they demoed in a progressive fashion, like how it's like we start with the fundamentals. This is a basic basic thing, and then it's like, okay, a little more complexity, a little more complexity, a little more complexity, and then here's some group play where we're doing even more stuff, and then it escalated in a really nice fashion, right? Like definitely got the ticker ticking.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, also to you, my friend, welcome to Pantheon Plus. Entrusted with the future. I love it. Man, how long have we known each other? I feel like it's been a very long time now at this point.
I can't remember when I joined the guild, but I've been
we
trying
knew
to
you
be
before
a part
that,
of.
didn't we?
Yeah, I've hung out on here for
Years.
a long time. I think since end of 2019. It's been a fun time.
It's awesome. Yeah, man. Congratulations. Take care of this team. They're gonna need your insight, your drive, your knowledge, your passion. Me and you have gotten into some passionate conversations. They're gonna need that. Bring it forth, man. Bring it forth. Use this opportunity. You're the community. Now you're giving it back to them, and it's a really cool circle to see. So, congratulations on being part of an amazing team with an amazing future, man.
Yeah, I am honestly like so excited, and like I can't wait to make you proud, man. I really I can't wait to see like where we can take this and just grow on what you've built, and is such a ridiculously awesome foundation, and we won't ever be able to thank you enough for that.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, man. Well, I'm sure we won't be strangers. Take care, and we'll still get into arguments, I'm sure, and like fun debates. So
I'm sure it'll be awesome. All right,
dude. Thank you so much, honestly, for the support. You've just been awesome. You've been a very big part, and there's been shows we've done in PantheonPlus where we don't get as many people in the green room, and you were always there to kind of jump in and say some stuff. So
yeah,
it's really cool. So
more people, bring them in here. We need more new people in the green room. If chat hears that, like, you got to get in here. I'm actually such a nervous Nelly. This really unlocked me being comfortable, honestly. So if anyone's feeling that, I encourage you to just give it a shot, man. It's like talking to friends.
It really is, man. And I love hearing that because that's what it's all about. I know it can be nervous to come live on the air, but just jump in, man. This is a friendly environment. Opinions are welcome, and you're not going to get beat up for it. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some laughs. And as long as you're not an elf, that's it, right? So
Hey, I'm an archive. I'm safe.
Okay, we're good.
Safe.
Okay.
All right, see you guys.
All right, take care,
All
Dan.
right, see ya.
All right, next up, Eric. Whew. It's gonna be a tough one, Nate. Derek, if you're there, I'm gonna bring you in. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's all this elf bashing going on? I had to get in here.
Oh, well, before we get into the nitty gritty and close up this show, what do you think? What do you think of the stream? Uncle Cole?
Yeah, it was great, man. It was great, man. This is a high IQ class. I love these kinds of classes that are like where I feel like I don't, when you see a class and you're like, I don't know if I could play that class just because I don't think I'm smart enough for that class. Like I actually like that feeling, rather than seeing a class, you're like, oh my God, you're just rolling your eyes like it's falling asleep. This is not a simple class. And I really appreciate that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, I can't play it. I can't. No matter how cool it looks, I can't.
And they could have got away with making it boring. Let's be honest. They could have totally got away with like giving it feigned death, giving it some cool looking flashy punches, and a real quick one where it does a bunch of punches at once, like in Final Fantasy 11, and then called it a day. And we would have been like, cool, that's a cool looking monk. I can't wait. Let's be honest. They could have.
Yeah.
They decided to take the high road and make it something amazing. So
Exactly.
I mean, it was so amazing. Did you see the question they had to answer? Like, that's a testament to how cool the monk was, right? Somebody asked Joppa, hey, what about the classes that came before the monk? You can go back and make them super cool too. Like,
yeah.
The monk was so cool that people felt ripped off about the original classes.
Yeah, that tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah,
we also got to see a cool part of Amber Fate. Nobody's mentioned it yet, but I'm going to bring it up just because we got to see a cool part of Amber Fate we hadn't seen before. So
a little picture.
And that mob he was fighting too. The what was it called?
The ravaging
Bloodfang.
Stalkers.
There you go.
Very cool.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then Minus, I'm just going to say, I don't want to get sappy. We've already been down this road and I won't do it again, but you are a very unique person. You bring so much to this community. And I'm not saying that in a way that's,
it's just funny.
I'm being serious, but what you've done for this community can't be overstated. And you built this thing, and we were talking the other day about the future of PantheonPlus, and I said, like, I feel like I'm adopting a child of yours, right? And I said, that's a lot of responsibility. I feel a lot of pressure. I feel, and your response to that was, you know what? I've already changed the diapers. I've grown the kid up. You got nothing to do. Like, this thing's in good hands. You don't have to worry so much.
Just keep him away from drugs and smack him around when you need to. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So the hard work has been done. So no, but it's bittersweet. This whole week's been a bit of a tough go to sort of realize that you're not going to be a part of this thing anymore. But it's I'm grateful. So that's all it is. Just gratitude.
Well, you're not getting away with that, a little bit of sappiness. So good try. I just want to say that it's crazy to me because I literally cannot get it out of my head, the picture of you sitting in front of that bookshelf talking about how you can't buy prestige.
You can't buy identity in a cash shop.
Yeah, that's the first thing you ever said. And that happened because we put a video out where we asked the community to submit their thoughts about Pantheon. It was called Why Pantheon. It was a super fun video to just random people sent in videos, and I put it in. Nathan, you were a part of that, getting all hyped up, and it was awesome. And it's crazy to me because I got an email from you forever ago, and we talked, and we said like, yeah, hey, let me get back to you. And of course I didn't. And you started making lore videos, and I'm like, why do I remember this name? I'm like, oh my gosh. And I saw the email, and I think I replied to the email like months later. And I was like, you still interested in this? I saw your video. And it's just crazy to me, man. Like, I got to say this about Theric. I know everybody loves you already, so I might as well. The most humble team player. I'm so fortunate. I remember saying to him, hey, I know you have a YouTube channel. why don't you just come make content with us? It's like, I don't know if you're out there to be the next YouTube superstar. That's not what we believe in at Pantheon Plus. We want to be a team that does it. And there's a lot of people out there that want to build their own channels, and I get it, and do their own streaming. And I always had this vision that we find people who don't care about the self and want to do it as a team. And you immediately were like, no, man, I want to be part of a team. Like, you didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, do you want to start putting your videos over here? Heck yeah, let's do it. And like, I have watched you evolve. It's not that you weren't good at what you were doing when I met you, but I've just watched you evolve so incredibly to watch your videos skyrocket in views and get people into lore, myself included. You had an impact on me the same that you do the community. And you have been there for me so many times where I didn't think I could keep going. And you guys don't see that side of me. I'm not a guy who rages out in public. I'm not a guy who complains in public. But behind the scenes, and Nathan, you've been there, with the people I trust, with the people I love, it's when I feel comfortable to let it out, to show weakness, to say that I need help. And you've you are one of my best friends ever, man. And Nathan, you as well. To have you both here is just incredible.
Wow.
And it's never going to change, dude. Like, you will have a forever part of my life. And I'm so proud. And I know it's you and Drac and Poiru, but I'm so proud knowing that you're going to be there for them the way you were for me. And I know that you're going to take care of this community. And you've been nervous, and you say you don't deserve it. You do. You're the perfect person for it, man. Take care of people like you took care of me, and Pantheon Plus is going to be amazing. So thank you for that, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, man. Always, you know it. Always here for you. And that's just the way it is. So we'll carry on. We'll be good. And yeah, man, it's just positive moving forward, right? You get so much more done as a team than you do as one person. So just how it is. But yeah, you're a good dude.
No, dude, it's not over for us. I will still be tormenting you and pronouncing words wrong and checking in on you, and that doesn't go away. You can't run away from me. I will come find you. You're in a small city, in Winnipeg, small from what I understand. So
my feigned death will do nothing.
No, nothing. So thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And honestly, for anyone out there who's worried about Pantheon Plus, this guy is a rock. Even when he doesn't know it, he's a rock, and he's going to take care of you guys. He's going to make this even bigger than it's ever been. And I'm going to look back and just be super proud. So it's awesome. Thank you, man.
Yep. You're welcome. See you later.
Yeah, thank you, Eric, man. Thank you, man.
Of course, dude.
All right, Nathan. I think we're going to have one more person jumping in right here at the end. They asked if they could jump in. They should be able to jump right into the live chat. They don't have to go into the green room. They have special privileges. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe I lied. Let's go ahead and bring him. Oh, there he is.
Oh, one.
Oh, boy.
1,002.
It's still working out.
Hello?
Still working out, Nathan. This guy.
Sorry, yeah. Backs and buys are on Thursdays, so just I didn't expect anybody. Apologies. Wow. Interesting. No, I had to jump in here, man. We've known each other for quite a long time, and this is just one of those awesome streams where people get to see kind of the true side of Minus, and what you're about. And me and you have had conversations back before, I was part of the team, and we had long nights where we talked endlessly about everything, and it was fantastic because it was just genuine and honest, and it was, you could tell, and that's why I've always enjoyed having relations and talking with you, because you as a friend have always just been honest with your opinion, your feedback. You're genuine about what your intentions are and what you're expecting. You're never trying to, go above and beyond and one up anybody. You're always trying to be a part of the community and what we all aspire to be here. And it's been encouraging. It's why we, from a Visionary Realm standpoint, come to hang out and to have fun with you all in the Pantheon Plus community, because we love the community that's built here. So I just wanted to come in and just say, from myself as part of Visionary Realms, that we have loved what you have built here, and what you and the team have built here within Pantheon Plus. It is an inspiration to us all. We log in every day to see what's happening within the community, and Pantheon Plus comes up all the time. And it's because of the activity, it's because of the relationships, it's because of the community that's built here, you know, and I love seeing it. I know the rest of the team loves seeing it. I had pretty much everyone on the team hit me up just now and said, hey, make sure to let Minus know that we love and appreciate what he's done. And we just want to thank him for starting this and building this. And, you know, you've been smart about it. You put a team around you of people that are like-minded, like yourself, you know, part of this community that are inspirational, that are passionate, that are just, you know, consistent with being involved and engaged. And that is 100% one of the most inspiring and encouraging things that about you as a person that you bring to the table. And I appreciate that myself, but the rest of the team as well, man. So just wanted to kind of give that to you and say, thank you so much for, you know, continuing to pass on what you've built here and make sure that it's continuing to run and to grow, because we from Visionary Realms just love what you have built here, and we love the rest of the community as well, but we just see this come up time and time again, and you've been a huge influencer in making sure this happens and driving this forward to this date. So very excited for you know, you and your future. I hope everything is the best as it can possibly be. So I'm looking forward to continuing to keep in touch with you. And then as we go forward as well, we're going to continue to keep in touch with Pantheon Plus and just keep in tune with what's going on in the community. So, you know, don't think that we're ditching or leaving, guys. We're here as well. We're supporting this community. We're supporting our entire community. We love everyone in their community. And so couldn't be thankful enough, and just wanted to jump in here and make sure that you knew that first and foremost, you know, because you deserve to know that as well.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. And yeah, we did have some, I can't tell you the amount of times back in the day when I was like, all right, everybody going to bed. Sacred's like, well, Minus, real quick, what do you think about limited action sets? For 4 hours later, no joke, like 4 a.m. Like, Sacred, I need to go to bed. You're like, all right, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Like, all right. Like literally getting 3 hours of sleep before work. And I was like, you know, I'm like, guys, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep tonight. Like, it's going to be awesome. Tell me about limited action sets. Tell me why you think transmog is good. Like, literally such a button pusher too.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning. It's worth mentioning that he just gave a very beautiful, heartfelt speech to the guy that kicked him off of his team. I remember traded him. So imagine
he tried to trade me twice, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't even on his team for the second trade.
You know, we tried really hard to trade you this year too, but no one was biting. No one was biting. We really tried to get it rolling, but no one wanted. No one was up for it. No, Sacred, I appreciate it, and I really thank you in VR. You know, for one of the things I've said is it's really hard to grow a community, especially when you're streaming or you're making content, if you don't have credibility. And you know, I can say this is what I really believe in. Until I turn blue in the face. But a lot of times what I think helped build Pantheon Plus bigger and helped us overcome some of the obstacles we face is that you guys did show up in the chat and you did interact with the community. And there were community members who were so thankful to joke with you in chat or Japa or whoever was here, anybody from the team, to ask a question and get an answer and be like, oh my gosh, they answered me. Because Pantheon Plus, especially this show, Pantheon PlusYou, is about the community, and it's about them having a piece of it. Like, and when you guys come in, you interact with them, you make them stand out, you give them a spotlight. And you know, we can do that, but it means so much when VR does it. And again, I don't think we could have been what we were without, you know, the support. You believed in us, all of us. And that's tough. That's tough for any company to do because it can go south. It can always go south. And you guys have been such a proponent for all community around Pantheon. And it's a big risk you put on yourselves, but you do it with the right intention. And so far, you guys have done it with the right people. And that doesn't just include Pantheon Plus. We just heard Nathan tonight singing on the dev stream, which is freaking awesome. You know, it's just cool. And I know that the one of the things that this team is going to be able to do moving forward is when they keep that integrity that we're built on, keep community that we're built on. And then, VR still showing up in the chats to chat with people or joke or whatever it is, that this team's gonna do amazing things. It's just the start, man. This is just the start. This is a small piece of the history that's gonna come, and it's just awesome. So thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. I know how much saying that in public was probably pretty painful. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll regret it tomorrow, I'm sure. But tonight was a good night. So,
well, Sacred, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in.
Absolutely, thank you, and the rest of the community as well. Appreciate y'all.
Awesome. All right. Well, Nathan, I guess we're signing off. That's it.
All right. Well, listen. Hey, wait a minute now. I just want to say, this is the last time I'll be on the show with you. Come on the show at least many times. I don't know how many, but many. I just want to say, man, because I tell you all the time, you're my favorite dude. You're my favorite guy. And I just want to say something, because I don't even know if you know this, and I'm not a very emotional creature. I don't get very emotional. It has to be pretty bad. But there was a time when I was down, and we were talking, and this was during one of the rougher moments in Pantheon's development cycle, and I straight up told you, like, dude, I don't know if I can do this now. Like, this changes everything. Like, I don't know if I can keep going. I think I think that's it for me. And you said, no, this isn't. You need to keep going. People depend on you, and you have a gift that you can make people laugh, and you need to use it. And you need to do this for the community. You need to do it. And I'm not gonna lie, I really was like, like, I can't go back on YouTube and keep acting like I have, right? And be funny and do all this silly stuff. And you brought me back, man. I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have walked away because it was just too much at that moment. So there would be no Nathan Napalm for the past year and a half if it wasn't for you. So I just want you to know you affect everyone in the community, not just your guild, not just the people right here in chat or that come in the chat, but you affect everybody. So I just love you, man. And it seems like a really sad show, because I really enjoyed coming on live with you all the time and doing these kind of things. But the good news is that for every journey that ends, a new one begins, right? So hope everything goes well for you, man. Post this, and I love you, man. I really do, and I'm here for you. Anything you need, absolutely anything. There's nothing you could ask. It's too big of a task. All right.
Yeah, you know that. Same, man. Same. Love you to death, and we'll be sharing some beer someday at a Pantheon Fan Fest, and talking about the days and getting online someday. So that won't go away. So love you, man. Thank you, guys. It's it's been a day. Looking forward to this, and wouldn't want it to go any other way. Chat was awesome tonight. We had over 100 people stop by. Thank you, VR, in the chat. Amazing developer stream. Sorry to take away from that a little bit. It was an amazing stream tonight. The monk looks awesome, and that's what we should be focused on. But it's in great hands. Just the love that you guys are giving right now, give it to Theric, give it to Drac, give it to all them. They're going to need it because it's new. They're going to have the challenges, but they can overcome with you guys, and they can overcome because I know they're capable. So support these guys as they change. It's going to look different, but the core values will be there. Community first, always. And Nathan, I hope you'll be their guardian angel like you have been for me, buddy. So
Absolutely.
peace out, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you for stopping by. Take care.